Hey y'all, you see the title here. Father and son shoot at a person they thought was a burglar after neighbor brings package delivered to wrong house. This story is crazy. Yet another crazy Florida story. And we like yet again Florida. Florida, always in the news, Florida. So let's go ahead and do this, okay? This is in Winter Haven, Florida. A doorbell camera alerted a father and son that someone was outside the door of their Winter Haven apartment. They armed them they armed themselves and went out to find who they suspected of burglary and ended up firing 7 shots into the car of a woman who was parked outside of her own apartment. Holt County Sheriff Grady Judd, said there was never a burglar. The person who triggered the doorbell camera was a neighbor returning a package that was delivered to his address by mistake. It all started when the Colin Acosta home's doorbell a camera alerted a 15-year-old resident that someone had been outside the door. The teen peeked out the door to see who was there and then went to get a firearm. Meanwhile, his father, Gino Colin Acosta, grabbed his cane and a loaded semi automatic. Sorry. Gino and his teen son left the house carrying loaded weapons. Sheriff Grady Judd said the two split up. Gino Colin Acosta walked around his apartment building and his son checked the perimeter of the building. Gino reportedly found a vehicle with tinted windows in the parking lot in front of the building. Assuming the person inside was a burglar, he approached and started demanding the person get out. The woman inside, who had just returned home and was checking messages on her phone before going inside, put her vehicle in reverse to try to get away from the apparently random armed person yelling outside of her car. I mean, yeah, she doesn't know who this guy is. I mean, she was probably scared out of her mind. As she quickly backed up to flee, the teen heard a commotion and ran towards his father. When the teen passed by, well, excuse me, I'm sorry. When the vehicle passed by the teen, he began shooting at the passenger side. What is wrong with these people? The victim swerved, hitting a parked vehicle, which then hit another parked vehicle. As the victim drove away, Gino and his son continued to shoot at the car. One bullet went through the empty child seat in the rear of the vehicle. The empty child seat. Thank goodness that child seat was empty. There wasn't a baby in that seat. The victim was able to get to a nearby gas station and call for help. Gino Colon Asta fired 2 shots and his son fired 5 during the incident. Gino Colon Acosta is being charged with contributing to the delinquency or dependency of a child, possession of firearms by a minor under 18, prohibited attempt, solicitation, and conspiracy, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, attempted felony murder, culpable negligence, discharging firearm in public or on residential property, improper exhibition of dangerous firearms, weapons, or firearms. His 15-year-old son is charged with possession of firearms by a minor under 18, prohibited, attempts, solicitation, and conspiracy, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, attempted felony murder, culpable negligence, discharging firearm in public or on residential property, and improper exhibition of dangerous weapons or firearms. Okay. they're probably going to eat all of those charges because they're in that Polk County Grady judge doesn't play. They don't mess around over there. I worked in Polk County. We got some video here, but I actually want to go to to the news page because Grady does such a great job of telling the story about what happened. So I really want I'm gonna share this. I want you guys to listen to him describe it because like just this story is just unbelievable. These two are insane.
Good Monday, everyone. I told you last week that we would join together for more information whenever someone else did something really, really stupid. And they did. It was over the weekend. I want to introduce you to Gino Costa, who's 73, and his son, Rocky Costa, who's 15. Now, what I'm about to tell you, you just absolutely
And fair use.
cannot believe. This ranks among the craziest stuff that I've seen in a while. And I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. So these guys live at 4900 Cypress Gardens Road, which is an apartment complex in number 32. Got that? So we have a witness that lives.
That's his son. He said he was 15. You got that boy out there shooting at cars.
Down the apartment street from the Costas. He goes outside about 7 o'clock Friday morning, or excuse me, Saturday morning, and he discovers that they made a missed delivery. That's right. Someone has left pharmaceutical medicine at his house. So our witness, being a good Samaritan, being a good neighbor, doing what any one of us would have, took the medicine and went down to the Costas residence, who it was intended for, walked up to their front door and hung it on the door and left. Well, the Costas have a Ring doorbell, and it hit both of their cell phones that a guy was at the front door. So what do? They think they're being broken into. Are you kidding me? The dude is being a good neighbor, and he simply goes there and returns the package to the appropriate address. So he goes home. They arm themselves. First, Rocky comes outside. He looks around. He doesn't see anybody. He goes back inside. Then Gino picks up his 45. So they both have 45 caliber firearms. And Gino, not only does he pick up his firearm, he picks up his cane so he can walk. And they go outside. And they're searching for their quote unquote burglar. There is no burglar. So they get almost 100 yards away from their house. And there is a lady in a dark colored car with dark windows, with the engine running, and she's sitting in the car playing on her cell phone, looking at her messages, minding her own business. When she looks up and she sees Gino standing at the back of her vehicle with a gun pointed at her, screaming for her to get out of the car. Well, she thinks he's about to carjack me. He's going to rob me. So she throws her car into reverse. She's trying to back out of the way. She, in the meantime, crashes into a car that's behind her because she's trying to leave. She thinks she's getting robbed at gunpoint. Rocky hears the commotion. He comes over. He thinks that our victim is trying to back into him, and he starts shooting into the car. And then Gino shoots into the car. She puts the car in drive and speeds away. Did you hear what I said? The two of them shot at an innocent lady sitting in her car where she had the right to be looking at her cell phone. They shot at her 7 times. She wasn't hit. She notified the sheriff's office. We started our investigation. During our investigation, we learned that one of the bullets, even though it didn't hit her, went through the baby's car seat in the back and lodged in the driver's seat of the car.
Mm.
Our victim was that close to death. And certainly, had there been a baby in the car seat, the baby would have been killed. So you've got these two guys who are way out of line, way out of control. They don't understand the Florida law. The guy who's helping, he simply was taking the medicine down and putting it on the doorknob or at the front door because they delivered it to his house as opposed to the Colin Costas. They go out searching for a burglar that wasn't there and shot up an innocent lady's car while she was in it. That's crazy. They can look at each other and say, young son, old dad, I guess we are messed up because we're going to prison for a long time. We've got them charged with attempted murder, among other things. Listen, here's a message. In Florida, we have a wonderful castle doctrine law. We have a wonderful stand your ground law. That doesn't mean you can go search people out and shoot them. That's what they did. They searched people out to shoot.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. So, like I said, this story is just crazy. Where these two clowns got the idea that it's okay to arm yourselves with guns and the old man with a cane. I mean, obviously he's unstable with walking if he needs a cane. So, how well can he even shoot? They could have killed anybody while shooting at that car. You know, um, I'm glad they're off the street. And thank goodness that that woman wasn't killed. She wasn't hurt. They damaged other people's property because, her being, terrified, trying to get away from those two, she she crashed into two other cars. And uh this is, typical Florida, typical Florida. I can't tell you my time that I lived here, the number of incidents I had. Not anybody pulling guns on me, but minding my business and just people out of nowhere. It's just I don't know what it is about that state. It's got to be the water, or maybe it's the extreme subtropic humidity that just drives people's brains. It just scrambles people's brains. But anyway, I just wanted to share that crazy story with you guys. Have a good one.